In this video, we'll talk about how you can use XBasic function libraries in your components. So you'll see that we have a very simple UX component here that just has two buttons, and both buttons make AJAX callback. So you can see that this first button makes an AJAX callback to a function called F1, and the second button makes an AJAX callback to a button called F2. However, when we go look in our XBasic function declarations, only the function F1 is defined over here. So therefore, when we press the first button, you'll see we get a response, but when we press the second button, we get an error because F2 is not defined. Now, an XBasic function library is an external file that lets you define a bunch of functions that can then be shared among multiple components, and then you can link the function library into the component. So let's go now to our web control panel here, and you'll see that there's a category here in the web control panel called XBasic function library. So let's go ahead here and open up the editor. So we have a modeless editor right now. It's an MDI window, and I can go here and define function F2 as C and then E as P, and then F2 equals alert hello from F2, and then end function. And I can define as many functions as I want, so I can go here and define F3 as C and then E as P, and then F3 equals alert hello from F3. So now I've defined two functions here in the function library, and I can define as many functions as I want. And then let's go here, and I'll just call this XBasic lib1. So I'll go ahead and save this now, and if I go look at my control panel now, I can see I have a file there called XBasic lib1. If I go back to my component now and I run the component, we can see that even though I've defined a function library, it's still erroring out because we haven't specified that we want to actually link that library into this component. So I'm going to go now to properties and then scroll down to the XBasic section here, and now I'm going to go here and open up the selector and choose XBasic lib1, go ahead there and click OK, and I can link as many different libraries as I want. You're not limited to one library. And then go ahead now, and when I press this button, you can see now it gives me a JavaScript error because I've made an error over here. So let's go here and fix up my error. Go ahead there and then save this, and now press the button 1, and now press button number 2, and you can see that it's working. So the XBasic function library is an alternative to using, say, AEX files, which create global functions. When you want to define XBasic code to handle XBasic to handle XBasic AJAX callbacks and share that code among multiple components. So obviously you can see here that this function F1, which I've defined locally here, can only be used in this particular component. But if this function F1 did a lot of work and I wanted to reuse it in many different components, then I'd have to redefine the function in each component that used the function definition. But now with a XBasic function library, I can easily share the code among multiple components by just linking the XBasic into the component, and this is available in grids, UXs, custom components, and tabbed UIs, and easily share the file among all of my components. And of course, since this is just a pure text file, it's also very nice to be able to check the file into source controls. So thank you very much for watching.